one of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable. The so-called mummy of a Persian princess. The defrauders did good work, but missed one small detail. It's the mummy of a man.
It's a pity how many amazing things are missing from this room.
The full plate armour of Sir Robert Saunford. I was told my father won it in a wager. (1852), Bingley, West Yorkshire. This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake. (1852), Bingley, West Yorkshire. This 1852, Bingley, West Yorkshire. Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
Yo, what's good?
It's a pity how many amazing things are missing from this room.
Oh. It's so hot again.
The painting on the wall was slightly atilt. He stopped and straightened it.
Huh.
Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if...
But
A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it?
ooh. What's that?
I think this is what we're looking for.
A key. Tiny Tina key. That's good. Woo! Mana Choji. What's this in here? Shut up. Hello.
We made it. So what's there?
Single malt whiskey, Mycroft's favourite. Gifted by Queen Victoria herself.
What? Oh, Magic Queen Victoria.
Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met. Otto Richter. This one is rather thick. Mycroft can be truly dogged in his research.
Otto Richter, 45 years old, born of with the family. No family, no heirs. Medical practitioner. Parents died of career. Unknown.
I used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
We heard a noise. I can't recall of exactly what. And we didn't have a great view from behind the statue. Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
Hello, Dad. Hello, mate. Oh. Another one of these.
Time for sponsor.
G Fuel sponsor! Ah!
It is what it is.
Neofox Hype Master 74 Choji Cute.
What it is, what it is. What it is. Mana Choji. Oh, thanks for the biddy. Let's go. Mana Choji.
Time for sponsor.
G Fuel sponsor! Ah!
Hey, 555.
Time for sponsor.
G Fuel sponsor!
Hmm?
Ah!
Time for sponsor.
G Fuel sponsor! Ah!
2, 3.
Shocked face, shocked face, shocked face, shocked face, shocked face, shocked face.
Let's go. Don't waste, mate. No luck in the Cliff G Fuel Taker. Yeah, I know, yeah. It was a good stream though. At least they're coming back. Sub Sundays and start to do everything again.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait. Did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
So there was a quarrel between you.
What? Otto is Charlatan?
I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out. Sherry, look! We've got a parcel here. Hurry up and let's see what's inside.
I'm still home. I'm waiting for you at Kurt Monton House. Mansion, Chocolate Lane. Come at once. Always your friend.
An invitation that comes with a mask. We can't miss this, Sherry.
Oh, we can't miss this, Sherry.
I think we deserve a rest.
Cordona Abbey. What? Ooh. Man, 2G.
Okay. Okay.
Did you hear?
Oh. Sherry? What up, everybody? What up, player?
Welcome to the Manchios Mansion.
Oh?
Welcome, sir.
That's crazy. How you doing? How's everybody doing? How you doing?
Enjoy the evening, sir. There is still plenty of time before the grand finale.
All right.
What? Okay. Oh.
What if I write an article about these people here? Can you help me gather information about Cordona's elite?
Sherlock! Friend!
What?
I wasn't sure you'd come.
Who that?
Werner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world and show you all we have to offer.
And what is on offer today?
Pleasure, indulgence, relief, and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
Those who know me would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
You may be right.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both. It's not healthy for handsome men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life and myself. Time of relaxation seems a distant dream.
So can I tempt you with a physical aid to your moral consolations? There's wine, of course. Something to smoke. Or perhaps an artificial paradise? Yes, something more spiritual. A potentiator to sharpen the mind. A 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
My mind is my most valuable asset, and a finely tuned instrument I will not risk impeding its function. My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that perfectly well as is.
Duty?
Okay.
You've never cared about that before.
Of course I do. Exposing a lie, revealing a fact, that is a moral responsibility.
That's not morality. Morals are what happens afterwards when truth collides with consequence. Do you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next? Visit the victims? Ensure justice is served in the courts? And how do you choose where to direct your attention?
Yeah.
Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance could be applied but isn't?
You ascribe me more power than I possess. I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating a responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained from indulging in it, and far better things to indulge in. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon your shoulders. Show yourself a kindness, and try this rather delectable concoction.
Hello, mate.
I am perfectly capable of coping with myself without medical assistance.
Then I shall press you on it no further. But please, do not refuse my gift. Take it with you, as a souvenir of this special night.
Souvenir of what, exactly? But, all right, if only to put the matter to bed.
And now, our evening begins in earnest. I just remembered. I'm sorry, Sherlock. My mind's delightfully impaired. Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the library.
Pardon? Altar room? What now, Werner?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk. I'll join you in a minute. Let Fabio speak for himself.
What? Oh, man. Uh-oh. The hell?
My God. Was he here this whole time?
This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger. This elaborate box must be... The ointment smells... mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly. This crude tattoo partially covers a slave branding. A blunt force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance. This golden handle has a bloodstain on it. This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood. The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart. The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. He died right here. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion.
Oh snap.
Why don't people tidy up after themselves? An open wound spoiled the carpet. Blood. A sturdy bottle met a not-so-sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened. The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain.
Choji, the blood end. Huh? What handprint?
Identical to the robes the guests are wearing. Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set. This is a different ritual.
I found a scenario. A letter. Don't ignore the guests. Remember, each case is what mature.
How can anyone accept such behaviour?
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal. Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Banchos. The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me. The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio.
Would you recognise me in one of these?
Oh?
I suppose not.
Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains. Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains. The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars. This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus, drawn in a hurry. The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony.
Oh, these crime scenes always outdo my imagination.
Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts. But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
All right. Then pull yourself together, Werner.
Oh.
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Huh, who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then we were
Filling time?
waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
You know the victim?
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance, and more.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil. Not this travesty that seems straight out of the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a prude.
No.
Are you a virgin? It is nothing to be ashamed of, but it would explain the color of your cheeks. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
Who is... Oh no, 1 second. Richie's! Be right back. BRB, real quick. Crypto! Crypto tripping. Oh, thanks. Who is that? Oh, Manitoji. What up, what up? Okay, who is Mr. Macho?
Mr. Manchios is the owner of the manor, yes?
And
Yeah.
the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
Was the room open?
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later only to find the lock was not blocked?
Correct. After an hour
Hello.
had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
Hello. What's that?
The police remain unaware of this
Hey.
tragic event?
How's it going?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But we didn't want the authorities to create more
How you
problems.
doing? How you doing? How's it
Besides,
going?
after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
Evidence has been updated. What the heck? What the hell? That's more bold. I know it's late. Hope you have a good night. Scary man. Told you what's here. I mean, how's the night? How's the day? How's the night? What the keys?
A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood. A bloody handprint on an armchair. The wounded person was here for some time. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. 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 You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Is that?
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. 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 You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
What?
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Interesting.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
What the?
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
The bottle was used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here.
Come over.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the next room and placed here. I do not yet know.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain... We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all.
Where was supposed to get Roger and lock the door?
Let me... The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the...
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any...
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss. But please be discreet. We don't want to risk disturbing the revel. I know you can untangle this mess.
Sherlock, don't forget to find the information I need before the guests... My goodness, Sherlock, they made a blood fountain.
Kurt
No,
Manchios,
John,
I
it's
presume.
definitely not-
I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must be the one Werner told me about. What a sweet voice you have. It must
Well-
belong to a handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
As you wish, Mr. Manchios. Mr. Vogel asked me to help you. The body in the altar room requires answers, and quickly. I suspect the murderer to still be...
What? Lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear us.
Did you know Fabio well?
People are starting to look at us, Sherlock. Change the subject. I can't believe what happened to him. To me. Such an Think what it means for me. A wonderful evening for so many good, influential, and rich people has been ruined. I have betrayed all my promises of exotic...
I don't understand. Surely a murder would affect your reputation to a greater extent.
Please, isn't this why you are here? I thought you were a silent magician. Do your tricks and make it go...
I need to find all those who had the key to the altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Santos? Who is that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo. In his opinion, at least.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Pinchetti and Matista. Do you have somewhere I might have a private conversation with?
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining the guests somewhere, and Santos... Oh, yes. He will be busy with the servants. Or the... What's that noise? What's going on? Freeze, filth. You're under arrest.
But mình cho riêng
Committed a crime, and now I have to free you, kiss your hand, and apologize for the inconvenience. You're great.
I did tell you that Mr. Vogel and I were innocent. I emphasized it in my statement.
Your statement? Thanks to some bigwigs who work for the so-called good of the country by releasing fleas like... Thank God we have Vogel in this letter. Once I get to that goldfish...
Bigwig. Oh, my wretched brother Mycroft and his long nose.
Wait, did you say Mycroft? Mycroft Holmes? Are you the youngest son of Violet Holmes?
You knew my mother?
Not personally, no. Not exactly. I was working on the paperwork for that.
Would you happen to remember anything of the event?
Well, I didn't make the inquiry, but I remember seeing some notes. What?
Perhaps we can negotiate. I could be quite useful.
Huh. Got you hooked, right? You know what? Stark and the others think they're the smartest here, thanks. Let me get this straight.
Are you listening to me?
I'm all ears.
Take this case. Report to me only, to Constable Harvey Oswald. I'll leave everything I have on this table. Find the Be a real copper. Question the suspects, make them sing, give me something substantial.
And if Mr. Vogel is not a suspect?
If he's innocent, then you can take your favourite degenerate away from it. If you slip or mess with the evidence, then trust me, your brother won't save you from my blood. Meanwhile, I'll be checking the archive for you. If anybody asks, then you're a consulting detective.
Let's make a start then, partner.
We should have listened to the guests there. Now I have nothing to write about. I can't go back to prison.
Back on track to solve the case.
But Jay's a witness. Defense responding. Ooh, new mind palace glue.
Look, I found Werner. What a bunch of losers.
Excuse me, just one question.
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald. You are Matista, Fabio's friend.
This body, yes, it's Matista. But it's a mere shell that will die someday. Just like...
Please accept my condolences for your friend.
Thank you.
I'm just here to ask questions and find Fabio's murder.
It will not bring Fabio back.
Okay. Let's observe. Observe, player. Obtained recently. Inks herself. Photo tattoo. Bitten nails and is nervous. Self-inflicted old here and the other. Infected with a branding iron. Shackle scars.
You have both old and new scars. Some from the time when you were a slave with Fabio. Other scars have a different or the guests pay good money to torment you.
I am skilled in giving pleasure, but I don't participate in such practice.
I thought your body was...
For sale. It's true. Many unwanted things were done to my body. And the pain helped me to discover...
Occult deities? Yes, the tattoo speaks loudly of it.
Yes. Your gods abandoned me, and the ones I favor now are more protective of...
How did you escape?
Something happened. One night the master fell down the stairs. I made him fall, and he died. We ran away that day. We managed to get on a ship and traveled here, to Gordon. Fabio and I started a new life here. It was very hard at first, but it became better with time. Until...
The bruises on your neck are not self-inflicted. Someone else made them.
Some guests can't contain themselves. They even bite. Sometime. I know I can handle the news.
Hello.
Good day, Mr. Manchios.
Manchios.
I am Constable Oswald's partner in this investigation.
Be quick and gentle. Some of your colleagues are untrained boors. Although I don't mind meeting young officers, the new blood.
If you cooperate in finding Fabio's murderer, there will be no need to meet with the boars again.
That voice. Werner's friend? You're the policeman. What a disappointment.
Only an undercover agent can scour a ditch full of deviants. I am a consulting detective, although I'm capable of replacing the entire department through my consultation.
Sharp-tongued, I like it. May I presume this tongue will get us out of this trouble? I would be so indebted and glad to repay.
Nothing's changed. I'm looking for the murderer. That's the only way to get us out of trouble.
But it shouldn't take much time, correct? We're all busy, after all.
I need to examine first.
Okay. So observe. See what happens. There's makeup. Nice spot. One hands in a hearse up on the thumbnails. Lavishly expensive. Hides his age. Sticker for cleanliness. What was that? Updates are done. Nice. Probably does that.
You are a little over the top with your use of makeup, Mr. Manchios. Is it so difficult for you to acknowledge your age?
Well, Sherlock, that's easy for you to say to an old man when you look as though you are barely 15.
But still, it shouldn't be an issue for someone of your status.
For people of my age, it isn't an issue, no. But the younger ones can be so afraid of wrinkles and grey flecks. I have to...
Such a methodical man who cares for his body but misses the soap under his fingernails. Are you so impatient, or perhaps even
I wouldn't call myself that. Silly little detail. If I missed it, it wasn't important. Or rather, it was less important than who or what I was focused on.
What was Fabio like?
What was Fabio like? His personality, his habits? Anything you can tell?
He was the brightest star of my parties. Young, magnetic, and full of energy. I don't even want to mention his beauty. Otherwise, I'll be...
An expensive champion, I imagine.
His performances were flawless. He deserved his payment. Do you think he was murdered because of...
Possibly. What about the other guests? Were they used to opening their wallets?
I wouldn't restrict my guests from anything. I'm sure Fabio received a few coins from others for his service.
No more will. I did that.
Mr. Vogel told me a little about your parties, but I would like to know more directly from you.
I'm all yours, Sherlock. You have me arrested and locked here with you alone.
Why did you invite Mr. Vogel as your special guest?
He's a pretty fellow. He's capable of surprising the public. He has a talent for saying words that no one else would wish to either say or...
I suppose I can't argue with that.
He is a free addition to the eccentricity of the party, which is fine by me, as long as it enhances my part.
Whom do you invite?
I'd like to know who you usually invite to your party.
Free minds who are able to leave reality for an evening, who can taste forbidden fruit without prejudice. There is nothing that quite spices up life like these parties, assuming one is old enough and has worked many years for the good of one's country.
Oh, all true laborers, I see.
What evidence?
You'd better ask someone else. I've no idea about that. That's not something I know much about. I've no idea about that. That's not something I know much about.
Do you have any idea who tipped off the police to raid your mansion, Mr. Manchios?
Of course. It was you. I could even say you Sherlocked me in here.
A good guess, but the wrong one. The fellow who did that was Mr. Pinchetti, your major domo.
What? Santos?
Pinchetti?
But how could he even know? If he's not the murderer himself. The ungrateful swine. He has dared to besmirch my reputation.
Not a very eloquent choice of words.
What should I call him then, since he's a snitch? Make him talk, Sherlock. I'm quite certain he knows more about the murder than he has told the... That's not something I know much about.
Good.
I've no idea about that.
Okay.
You'd better ask someone else.
How this?
I've no idea about that.
How that?
You'd better ask someone else.
How this?
I've no idea about that.
How that?
I've no idea about
How
that.
this?
You'd better ask someone else.
This?
I've no idea about that.
Yes?
You'd better ask someone else.
Yes.
You bought an expensive pair of cufflinks for Fabio. Were they his price? Or were they a tip for an exclusive?
It was pure business. Fabio escorted me a few times. I was merely showing my gratitude.
This pair cost a small fortune. You must be extremely grateful then. Tell me.
You've thrust a knife in an exposed nerve, Sherlock. Yes, he was my protege and my beacon. With my experience and his beauty, we could have achieved anything. I had faith in him. I would have made him.
Werner, are you all right?
Oh, yes, yes. Everything's fine. In fact, it's something of a family reunion. My brother spent quite some time in this place.
You should not be here. I told the police everything I knew, but they refused to let you go. They require proof to...
Ha! What did you expect? The mighty Sherlock Holmes swans in, tells the officers what to think, and the world...
Of course not. Anyway, I struck a deal with the constable, and I've got a free hand in the investigation. I find proof to solve the case for him. He obtains files about my mother's death.
Well done. If one has the power or will and can act, then one must. I wonder, suppose you couldn't get the proof to your truth. Would you tell a lie to the guard that enabled my freedom, knowing my... Would that not be just?
There are lines I will not cross, Werner. I will do my best to secure your release, but with proof, not dis...
Really? How many white lies have you told on this island? Why not for me? Why not an...
That is absurd. I can resolve this without compromises. Do not give up.
I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I can't follow you here. I can't follow you here. I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I can't follow you here.
I have learned who told the police about the crime. It was Santos Pinchetti.
Do I know him?
The major domo of the manor. He cleans up after...
Well, then he does his job perfectly. All but invisible. I couldn't tell you the first thing about... I know you can untangle this mess.
Excuse me, just one question.
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
During the fight, Have you provide evidence.
Have you considered Mr. Santos Pinchetti as a suspect?
The snitch? Have you seen him? I mean, my breath could knock him down. What's so special about it?
As a major domo, he has keys that open all the rooms,
What a
including the one to the crime. Could have testified only to circumvent suspicion, don't you think? We need to question.
Right. I'll send our men to fetch him. Stay in. They brought him in, Mr. Holmes. Here's the key to interrogation room number 7. Mr. Pinchetti didn't even resist our men.
Thank you.
Aye. So go back to interrogation room. Let's see the number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's your boy.
Mr. Pinchetti, a pleasure to meet you. I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable
I've already told him everything I know. I'm only a witness, sir. Everything's in my report.
And I've read it. You forgot to mention that you hold the keys to the room where Fabio was found. I need only to find if the crime was in...
But I need to return to my duty.
I doubt the house will fall without you, Mr. Pinchetti. Just be still for a few seconds.
Right. One sec. BRB. Alright. Let's go. So. Try this for allergy. Patched holes repaired multiple times. Stepped in blood splatter. Colored more than once. Okay.
You are the major domo of a rich mansion, and you seem barely able to afford decent clothes. You hide under heavy makeup a skin disease that might be treated with more onerous but less harmful means. Do you have money?
Do not have a lot of means. The pay is below what you might.
But you could easily change your job if your employer does not meet your elementary needs.
One can change his employer, that is true.
And the blood on your shoe, where does that come from?
I don't actually know. Perhaps from a guest.
Oh.
Did you know Fabio?
Not personally. He was a frequent guest, and cleaning the mess after his performances was Mr. Manchios always had a role for him, and mainly the leading one. The parties were always Fabio sent.
And Batista? Was she as popular as her partner?
Don't tell her I said this, but I do not think so.
there?
Mr. Manchios hired her only because Fabio refused to work with her. Mr. Manchios used to see her as a worker. She was tasked with entertaining the guests, unlike Fabio, who could pick and choose.
Did you hear Basilio Capello is in jail? A dead body was found in his showroom.
Good day. Your ticket, please, if you want me to help you. This is not a ticket. Don't you understand what a ticket is? This is not a ticket. This is not a ticket. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Don't you understand what a ticket is? Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Don't you understand what a ticket is?
I'd like to check the evidence from this case.
And who are you?
Oswald sent me. I'm a consulting detective.
His partner, then? Let me see. Ah, a ritual murder. What a bunch of degenerates. Wait a second. I'll bring it to...
All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring. It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone. A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials KM in the corner. A handcrafted charm that contains hair and nail clippings. Her key to the altar room. That's not for bedtime reading. That's not for bedtime reading. This ex libris belongs to Manchios Library. The book describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar.
I'm busy. You've already used up your quota of me helping you.
Werner's personal sketchbook.
The letter.
Not the time for privacy.
Okay.
An emergency kit for boredom. Thank you, officer.
Ching.
Did you hear Basilio?
Seems to be hiding something.
Please let me out. Please let me out.
I recognize the key from the altar room among these.
Oh.
Mr. Manchios says that you begged him to be included in the heritage. Isn't that a little extreme, even for a major do—
He's not only my employer, he's my uncle. And I'm his next of kin. The only... Mr. Manchios flatly refuses to pay a family member. All I have to do is repay his so-called love, cleaning up the filth after perverts, and he's imprisoned me. The best I can hope for is a new broom. That's why I wanted to have my part of the inheritance.
Is it that bad? You have a roof above your head, a salary, and the status of a major domo.
For God's sake. I'm forced to dye and stitch my threadbare clothes, and the holes in my shoes are painful. I'm ashamed every time a guest looks at me closely.
Why do you think your uncle treats you this way?
My mother, my uncle's sister, had me illegitimately. She died, and I was given the surname of one of them.
But you are entitled to some of the money that belongs to your family.
He thinks not. I was not responsible for my mother's death. I work hard, and he pays me nothing. I feed on the left, while he wastes our estate's property on decadent parties. He paid Fabio handsomely and showered him with expensive gifts for their disgusting religion.
But...
Please let me out. Please let me out. Please let me out. Please let me out.
There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient of this letter.
What are you talking about? Is it addressed to me?
Your protege wanted a fresh start, it seems. This is sufficient to charge.
Me? Hurt my star? Are you insane that you would accuse me of such a...
He did not consider himself as yours. Since you deny everything, let's move. Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's pocket?
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. Werner was a little hot.
6 hours.
I've no idea about that.
I've read the letter about your will. A harsh method of ridiculing Santos. I doubt he will use mustache wax when he wears no mustache to...
Where did you get it? Is the slug here? Tell him. I shouldn't have to provide for... He's a grown man who shouldn't sit on his uncle's neck. He conceives himself as my only heir.
And who is he to you?
He's a leech on my aging body. He has only added problems to my life since the death of his mother.
I fail to see why you made him your major domo.
He needed to know his place, so I taught him.
Do you recognize this book? Could Matista have borrowed it from your library?
She didn't ask me. How ungrateful.
The things described in the book were inspiration for the rituals you perform?
Do you really believe that blood, symbols, and incantations can resurrect the dead? They are just eerie tales with a mix of occultism and voodoo. My rituals are a stage to show some of the forbidden pleasures. I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
The hell?
This book, The Power of Love, Blood, and Mandrake, what do you hope to achieve?
To learn more about the invisible strengths that govern us. Occultism is real. The master who fell that night when Fabio and I escaped, I cast a spell on him and it worked.
Or was it a coincidence?
The universe is rarely so lazy.
If you say so. Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Manchios?
Oh. That could be. I never thought Mr. Manchios could make Fabio that angry.
What do you mean?
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from Mr. Manchios. Clients who are in love are both a blessing and a curse.
But Fabio was here tonight.
Money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt Manchios.
Was Fabio afraid of Mr. Manchios?
Not at all. The old toad wouldn't dare to do more than sweet talk and touch. Talk can be forgotten, and touching washed away.
Do you practice occult rituals?
For protection? For fortune? To wash away the ugliness of the world? Sometimes to survive. I have the gift, and I'm learning to use it better.
Did you use your gift on Fabio?
I only used white magic. Love charms lately. Fabio became so distant. I just wanted him to be, but I suppose I'm not as skilled as I thought.
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of the incriminating letter may have been Kurt Manchios.
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember how I came to possess it. Though I did spend quite some time with Mr. Manchios during the...
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may still not be enough to clear you with the police. But fear not, I will.
I hope your attempts to put things straight will make up for
you being on a bender.
Touché.
Manchios. ¿Qué está bien con buddy? Stage a crime.
I don't think I can tell you anything about this.
This letter proves nothing. Fabio wrote it to Mr. Manchios. It's time to free Mr.
Do you really think I'm that naive? I need proof, not words from his friend.
Very well. Mr. Pinchetti told me that Mr. Manchios was lavishing Fabio with expensive and eccentric gifts. The letter mentions rich rewards and attempts to buy Fabio with. It was written to Mr. Manchios. Who else was showering Fabio with luxuries to buy him? It doesn't fit Mr. Vogel's.
Look here. We had a deal. Give me the murderer and then take your friend with you. I won't budge other.
Well, fine, but you're just wasting time.
Continue our investigation while I look for the papers.
The murder of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios. It was staged by a man who wished to distract the investigation.
That might be true. That poor girl Matista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her. So, Santa?
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problem.
Ungrateful little scum. Will he be executed?
But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr. Vogel. He had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you plan. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated.
You can't be serious.
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your finger. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchio.
Nonsense. I missed it simply because of the busy schedule of the party.
Of course, a staged murder was certainly not planned. You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner, you have no children. You had feelings, however, for one man. That was... You loved him. That is, you wished to own him with money and gifts. But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his quite unjust love, so cruel and painful, and Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel the more wretched. So you...
You must surely perceive that my sensitive nature wouldn't allow me to hurt anyone.
You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you, since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the pub. It was your way of avoiding suspicion. A respectable man in his
early 60s,
who hosts the cream of Cordona's society, cannot possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behave like animals in his... Of course, one of them could have killed Fabio.
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did not stage Fabio's death.
The young performer played with your emotions. That was painful to realize. You spent so much time and effort to be with Fabio, but he didn't respond in the way you would have. You wanted to be loved. Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You struck, and then you staged the ritual. You planted the letter in Vogel's pocket and attempted to set up
What poppycock? Sherlock, stop this game now.
There is no stop word, Mr. Manchios. Relax and enjoy it. I'll pass the remainder of this case to Constable Oswald. He'll know what to do. I have a name for you. Kurt Manchios.
Is that so? The master of the Sabbath?
The man himself. Mr. Manchios couldn't stand to lose control over his life. A deadly revenge that deserves a proper sentence. I have all the evidence to charge.
A degenerate and a murderer. I'll make a name thanks to that for sure. As for my part, not everything was in place.
Huh?
Perhaps some documents were transferred somewhere else, but I couldn't find a trace of them. Then I remembered the discarded document drawers where we put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones. Including the crime scene report of Violet Holmes's. Everything I've found is on the desk here. Take it.
Your persistence has saved me.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can leave.
Good luck, Constable.
Don't forget the file.
Garden. There's a garden behind our manor. How could I forget? That's where it all happened, where it all went wrong.
Sheriff.
Oh, you did it, Sherlock. The case is closed and all rewards belong to the winner. Bravo.
It is merely the triumph of the truth.
Is it? No compromises? No lies? You're happy with your decision?
It is what it is.
Whatever the truth, it had to be revealed. The victim deserved.
Well, you seem confident in the value of your actions. I guess since I'm free, you were heard after all. By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion in such a personal matter. I simply worry I'm failing to be of much help to you.
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to obtain the imposter.
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually rejects those who speak with too much honesty.
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth. Still, I believe that the latter should prevail, and I cannot remain...
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth cannot defeat institutions, systems, and power. Etiquette, religion, marriage, they're all lies told to preserve connections, love, and sanity. And it's all corrupt.
Lies destroy human dignity. How could you make a free decision without any knowledge of the...
Are we really free to decide
Are we
anything
really?
in this world, Sherlock?
I take your point. There are some limits on us all, some compromises we must make. Despite my best efforts, we cannot remain entirely...
I didn't want to sadden you, Sherlock, only to make you think beyond your boundary. You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others, but constantly lie to yourself. How long until the train comes up? I cannot look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an accident waiting to happen, dear. Until then, I shall bid you adieu.
Did you hear Basilio Capello is in jail? A dead body was found in his showroom. Did you hear Basilio Capello is in jail? A dead body was found in his showroom. Did you hear Basilio Capello is in jail? A dead body was found in his showroom. Did you hear Basilio Capello is in jail? A dead body was found in his showroom. Did you hear Basilio?
I was being very stealthy, Sherlock, and you threw it all away. Come on, pull yourself together.
Did you hear Basilio?
In the police. Let's pretend to be cops, eh? We can just stand around and look confused.
That was it for now. Get up in the morning. GG's everybody. Good night. See you guys next time.